Hi guys! Who here wants to learn how to turn your content into cash? I said, who wants to learn how to turn your content into cash? Okay, there we go. Me, I love that. This is my first time to London. I just got to say, I'm now thinking in a British accent, and it's been so lovely. And when you guys talk, it's like you're dancing ballet with your words. And then Americans are just like, you guys are so much more lovely, and I'm going to take that home with me. So thanks for having me here today. Imagine that in just a few months, your name could be the one that everyone in your industry is talking about. You become the trusted, respected leader in your field, the category king or queen. Well, my name is Marley Jackson. This is what I do for a living. I turn people into industry disrupting icons. My team and I consult with some of the top names in the industry to turn them into icons, into household names, and inevitably successful entrepreneurs with content empires that allows them to convert their influence into currency. Here's what I'm most known for. Last year, I released 2 videos, just 2, and in 9 months, we brought my channel to over 100,000 subscribers, and that's something that only 1% of YouTube channels ever do. I'm also a filmmaker. I made a documentary last year about cancel culture. Did anyone see that? Some of you guys did. Dan Henry, who is speaking later, I think today or tomorrow, he was a part of that. So if you haven't checked it out, you would like to. There's a really big plot twist at the end, so make sure you gotta watch the whole thing. We created a whole new category of video with that called a docu-stunt, because it was a documentary combined with a publicity stunt. It was a social experiment to get myself canceled in 7 days. It worked. Anyone here ever experienced the effects of cancel culture? That documentary won awards at the LA Documentary Film Festival, Manhattan Film Festival, and we recently submitted for an Emmy. The second best part about content like this is that it opens doors for you that paid ads can't, in terms of sustainable lead flow, speaking engagements, media attention. Now, if you're a smart entrepreneur, you may be thinking, I don't want subscribers, I want buyers. You don't need 100,000 subscribers. You want more revenue. You want more money. So you do not need a large amount of subscribers to make a lot of money. There are YouTubers with massive followings who don't know how to monetize. And we also have small niche channels that sometimes people will be like, why are you spending so much time and money on your YouTube channel? We have no idea what's happening on the back end, because people that come through YouTube videos or through organic content, it's not like your sales calls turn into enrollment calls, because they've binge watched your content by the time they get to that call. What I'm about to show you is called the DC approach, which stands for Disruptive Content. I create viral campaigns for a living. My client roster includes A-listers from all over the world using these strategies. Most of the time when I talk about content, how to generate leads from content, people think that I'll come in and say, well, just dial in your niche and find keywords that people are already searching for and just have a hook story offer, send it to a funnel, collect $1 million, done. That advice maybe used to work, but have you noticed this crazy thing happens? When everyone does it, what happens? When something works and everyone just jumps on that bandwagon, it stops working. It becomes plain old vanilla status quo bandwagon crap real fast. You said it. So what I'm going to teach you today is a detailed guide to producing content that sells. Now, it is not an easy fix button. The strategies that I give you must be followed in order for them to work. If you like to read random stuff on the internet but don't enjoy the follow through, no one, including myself, will be able to help you. So after this, please put on your implementation hat. Capiche? Capiche. All right. So the 3 biggest takeaways you're going to get today, we're going to craft disruptive content hooks that magnetize attention. We're going to talk about attention conversion. Once we get that attention, how do we now convert that into the funnel? I'll teach you the first impression strategy that hijacks clicks. And then lastly, curiosity design. This is strategic formatting. This is one of my favorite techniques to create a whole new category of content. Even if you feel like the topics you speak about are boring, you're not boring. It's just that you need a new strategy. So let me first start by sharing that the algorithm is not broken. Your strategy might be. I want to get a couple volunteers to introduce this. Can I get volunteer to come join me on stage? Yes, you too. And then you can come up to, and you know what, Devon, I feel like you would be a lot of fun if you're around. Can you? Devon, you back there? Perfect. So when I was at the airport, I came all the way from, hi, just come and stand up here, please, sir. Thank you. Brave volunteers. Did I have a set? Oh, she's coming under the table. Look at you. The lengths we take for demonstrations. All right. When I was at the airport, I came all the way from Boise, Idaho, so there's no direct flight from Boise, Idaho. I was watching some YouTube videos, as one does, and I taught myself a card trick, and hopefully this works, so wish me luck. I want to demonstrate to you with this card trick how the algorithm works. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys, I'm gonna pick a card, any card. Do not look at it until I say, and then you can show it to the audience. If you look at it before, this isn't gonna work, okay? All right. Pick a card, any card. Good one, don't look at it. All right. Pick a card, any card. Don't look at it, awesome, okay. Pick a card, any card. All right, okay. I'm gonna guess what your card is. What's your favorite color?
Pink.
Pink. Well, there aren't cards that are pink.
It's not going to be pink. Red. I'll say red.
7 of spades.
Well done.
Show the audience. Okay. Okay, Zena, I'm going to guess your card. What month is your birthday?
June.
June. Okay. 7 of spades. Oh! I am so good at this. Devon.
Yes. My birthday was yesterday.
Oh. Was it really?
Yeah, it really was.
I only have 22 minutes.
Yeah.
You and I know each other very well, so I'm going to be able to get this very quickly. That is the 7 of spades. This is really awkward. I remember, I just learned this trick yesterday, so check your pocket. Other pocket. Oh! Thank you. Please give it up for my volunteers. That is how the algorithm works. Let me explain. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you, Devon. The whole deck is 7 of spades. All right, let me explain. This is how the algorithm works. So what happened there? The first time you saw the trick, what did you guys think? Wow, how did she do that? The second time? You're like, I've caught on now. The third time, I tricked you, right? But this is what people are doing online with their social media. Is all they're doing is throwing out the 7 of spades. And the audience got it by this point. They're like, I don't need to watch this anymore because it's repetitive. So the answer is we have to be consistently inconsistent with our content. What I'm about to teach you is how you can appear more omnipresent even if you're only posting once a day. I'm going to show you this acronym. Write down the word BRAVE. BRAVE. This is the framework for organic social media growth. So we have to step outside of thinking that just one thing or one strategy is going to get you all this attention and feed your business for the rest of your life. So let's go through this framework. B is broad spectrum content. So this is the content that's like top of funnel content. We're reaching a wide audience. Think of like mainstream interests. This is how Hormozy can talk about like his Chipotle order and people are so fascinated with it. Or this is where you're talking about like what you like to do on vacation or what it's like to drive a Lambo. It doesn't matter if it's not for your niche audience. This is top of funnel. This is reaching a wide audience with this. And the next one is relationship. This is stuff that's more about your topic that's going to nurture an audience. This is likely not stuff that is going to go viral. It's the stuff that's going to nurture the people that are closer to you. This is what builds the know, like, trust. A is advertising. So this is the content that has the CTAs, the promos, talking about your offers. V is varied opinions. So this is giving content maybe on someone else's topics. Maybe you're giving an opinion on something. This could be reaction videos. That could be speaking to a trend, giving a hot take on something. And then E is for everything that scares you. So the stuff that's like outside of your comfort zone. This is where the pattern interrupts is going to work really well for you on social media. If they're used to seeing one thing, we want to give them something else. So what you're going to do with this content is a lot of people are just posting relationship content, or a lot of people are just posting the advertising content. They're sending out the 7 of spades every day. So what we're going to do is every day we're going to create variety. One day you post B, then you post R, then you post A, then you post B, then you post E. Take a screenshot of this, some examples of what that content can look like for you. I left this blank because whatever scares you is going to be whatever scares you. For me, it was getting canceled. All right. If you want to have what the 1% have, you have to do what 99% are not willing to do. To stand out and convert with your content, these days you can't just post any content. You'll often hear me also say, don't create content, create experiences. And so this is the litmus test I've adopted for myself is this 1%? Is this something that 99% aren't able or willing to do? Well, what are the 99% doing? Can you like throw out some examples? What are things that you see overdone or oversaturated? What do you see happening on social media all the time? Talking head, over-edited. Yeah, now people like over-editing is kind of getting saturated. People don't love that anymore. Anything else? Podcast. I see those videos too where they're like pointing at words. Or the fake podcasts. Yeah, I hear that. They're not actually on a call. They're just taking a video from the side and they put a microphone in front of them. And let's also talk, what are the 99% doing in terms of mindset? They're eager to fit in. Fitting in is failing. They're playing it safe. Playing it safe is risky. They're avoiding criticism. Avoiding criticism is boring. The ones who ultimately fail are the ones who never take the risks. Seth Godin has a book, Purple Cow, where he talks, audiences don't rave about ordinary. We have nothing to say about ordinary. Think about the businesses, the people, the brands who are iconic and constantly talked about. They're not status quo. We have nothing to say about ordinary. When you create 1% content, you attract diehards, not simple subscribers. So disruptive content, we also want to be a little bit polarizing. That doesn't mean you have to be aggressive or offensive, but something that you take a stand for. Share an opinion. Can we pretend it's the 90s and I'm really saying what I mean? Okay, what? We want to create push-pull language where our audience can stand for something with us, or if they don't like us, that repelling is okay. Why would you water down your message for someone who really isn't your audience, that's never going to buy from you anyway? Okay, we want to aim for strong emotional reactions, both good and bad, because people don't take action until they feel something. We have to hook their attention the right way. And for most content creators, when they see someone's video, they can already guess what it's going to say, so they have no reason to click. So I want you to get that in your mind too, that when you see a piece of content, if you can assume, you're not going to click. But if it makes you ask questions, you have a question mark in your mind, that is going to make you want to click, because clicking on a video is an attention investment. So if your content is predictable, they're never going to decide to invest that time, let alone any money with you, because unpredictability is what makes people click. The only way that you're going to grow your audience is by getting more people to consume your content. So it's less about being searchable and more about being clickable and people coming back consistently to your content. Before we even talk about like the headlines, the hooks, the titles, there's something I want to address, which is the choice of the topic. I know a lot of people think that they need the right topic to create a good video, but really it's not about the topic, it's more about how you talk about the topic. How many of you guys watched Bill Nye the Science Guy when you were a kid? He was so obsessed with science. It made us love science, even if I didn't think I liked science. So with this, you can turn even the most boring topic into great content. So let's take a boring topic like cleaning a house. How many guys would want to watch this video? 6 tips to clean your house. No, thank you. Right? What about this one? The filthiest house in Europe, 6 years without a cleaning. Oh my, yeah, that's the reaction we want. Oh my gosh. Okay, apparently 19 million people wanted to watch this video. This girl does extreme cleaning around the world for free. So I'm not like, the example before was like, well, she's gonna tell me that I need some kind of good cleaning solution and scrub. Like, I'm coming up with assumptions. And this one, I have questions. Oh my God, what does it look like? How did she do it? Why did she do it? Okay, and her YouTube channel is over 3 million subscribers, gets tens of millions of views. She was able to take the topic of cleaning and make it interesting and entertaining, because behind every house that she cleans, there is a story. Can you guys see it now? It's not about the topic, it's how you talk about the topic. You just need to say things in a different way, in a way that they haven't heard of. And then this is how you make your content non-obvious, even if it's a common or boring topic. Look at these examples. They're pretty much saying the same thing, right? Which one would you click on? How to master your relationship with money. Do you have assumptions of what are they gonna say in this one? They're gonna say like, oh, here's how to budget your money, here's how to visualize, make some goals. But then the one on the right, I pretended every night until I made $1 million. Ooh, I have question marks. Do you have question marks? Yeah, I'm like, what did you pretend? How did you pretend? How do I do that? How did you make $1 million? All I have to do is pretend? So which one would you click on, the left or the right? The right, okay? So this is the same, it's saying the same thing, it's just packaged differently. Okay, so what's the goal of the hook? Get attention, get the click. It's the same thing as the goal as the headline in a newspaper or the first line in the subject line, the email. The important thing to remember about the goal of the title is that it's not to give a recap of the video. That's something that we learned in school when we were like writing essays, but that's not how you get people hooked. So the goal of the title is to get people to click, then get people to consume it. Simple, right? Pretty straightforward. So when you brainstorm and you write your hooks, what you need to do is make sure that you are leveraging curiosity. Curiosity is going to be the word to write down there. Getting people to click and leverage that curiosity. And when it comes to the clicks and the pattern interrupts, you have one best friend, and that is unpredictability. Your content needs to be non-obvious. It's because the thing is, we metaphorically judge the book by the cover. Whenever we see a new article, an email, a subject line, newspaper headline, we judge. Is this going to be a good investment of my time, my attention? If I can assume what it's going to say, I'm not going to click, right? If we can assume this is probably going to talk about this, I don't need to click. You'll probably lose them forever. Content needs to be unpredictable and non-obvious. And the best thing is that when you create this reputation that your audience believes that every piece of content that they're going to come back to is going to be unpredictable and non-obvious, and leverage that curiosity and teach them something that they don't know or entertain them in a way that they don't see a lot, you build this reputation that people always want to click and consume your content. Who are some of the people that you follow that every time a new video or piece of content comes out, you're like, I gotta see it. Like you drop things to watch it. Do you have those people that you can think of? Can you even remember the names of the people that you've unsubscribed from or unfollowed because their content was bland and vanilla and boring? We don't remember them. They say you are what you eat. You are also what you consume in terms of content, in terms of information. So think about how your content is a worthy information diet for your audience. When you have this reputation, your content becomes like a flywheel that every piece of content you're putting out just continues to build this content ecosystem that keeps fueling your funnels, your lead magnets, your events, your sales calls. It's attention that you own rather than pay for. Or the attention that you do pay for with paid ads becomes cheaper, can become less of a burden because you have this organic content machine that's growing with every new piece of content that you publish. What if you could only publish one piece of content a month? And it had to be so good that your audience would share it for you to generate more attention to your business. Kind of think about that when you're posting. If this was the one only piece that I posted this month, would it be good? Think about that next time you're creating content. All right, now that we've got the hook, are we done? Bye guys, okay, you can see you later, figure it out. No, you just bought a click, or maybe you bought 3 seconds. But you don't want to lose them after the first 30, 40 seconds, so we need to constantly re-engage them. A lot of these talking head videos, how do they start? Hey guys, just popping in real quick. Just wanted to come on here. It's like so apologetic instead of like, hey, I got a hook and I'm gonna blow your minds today. Can we like stop popping in, just remove that from your vocabulary? They all start with those like introduction, and I get that they want to share their credibility, but the problem is that they're not there to know who you are yet. They're watching to get the promise of the hook in the title of your video, or they're just gone. So what's the solution? Be like Deadpool. What? Who's seen the first Deadpool movie? Good one? Okay, do you remember the opening scene? They go straight into the story. And start to observe this when you watch movies. They go right into the heat of the drama or the height of the action. We don't watch Superman getting into his costume and getting out of the shower and like, he's right in the middle of fighting the bad guys, right when it starts. So it created this massive curiosity, at least for me, in the first 60 seconds, that now throughout the movie, they're going to answer those questions and they're going to open loops and close new ones constantly. That's how they keep people engaged. And that's what you want to do with your content to keep people engaged until the very end. Just like the stand-up comedian earns every laugh. Imagine if you went to a stand-up comedy show and there was a good joke at the beginning and a good joke at the end, and then in between was you're just like, that wouldn't be very good, right? The stand-up comedian is constantly re-engaging and getting a new laugh and having these like mini payoffs and then many payoffs leading to this big grand finale payoff at the end. Because the payoff will mean nothing if you've lost them 30 seconds in, which is unfortunately a lot of what's happening with social media content, because people keep throwing out these 7s of spades. They won't be hearing it. We got to earn the attention of their content every 5 to 10 seconds and then keep compounding on each other until the very end. So you open a loop in the title into your hook, and several times, even throughout the first 30 seconds, you close some loops in the first 2 minutes, then you open some new ones, and so on, which you continue to close until the very end. And at the end of the video, you send your people to a call to action. The best call to action is actually another video. That's how we orchestrate this bingeable effect. They go to next video and the next video and the next video. All right, curiosity design. also known as your show format. This is one of my favorites. This, combined with everything else, is just a game changer for your content because, again, it creates curiosity and unpredictability. And the best thing is that this is so simple, so little known. It's just that you take two saturated formats and you blend them together to create a whole new category. So here's some examples of what I mean. Who here has ever seen YouTube channels where they're like doing covers of popular songs? Very common, right? We see that all the time. There's also a whole category of content that's airplane videos, people that are flying planes. Guess what? This guy put them together. He's singing covers while flying an airplane. Is that pretty 1%? I can't do that. That's crazy, right? That's the reaction they want, and so it makes you want to watch it. Because if he was just in his bedroom strumming the guitar, it's like, anyone can do that. Similar to what Bill Allen does with his channel, Mile High Mastermind, he invites entrepreneurs like me, like Russell Brunson, to talk business growth and marketing. Airplane channels, fairly common. Podcast channels, fairly common. Put them together, boom, new category. Another great example is Binging with Babish. Who's seen this one? He cooks food from his favorite movies and TV shows. So basically he took food content, very saturated, film content, very saturated, and what he got was 10 million subscribers. Okay, some great examples that we see on TV too. Jimmy Fallon is great at merging formats. Have you seen this? Where he does musical wheel of impressions. The artist will do an impression of another artist while singing a nursery rhyme. As adults, if we watch someone singing a nursery rhyme, we'd like, tune it out. So, and every time they do that, it comes out viral. So can you guys think about ways that you can cross-pollinate two topics and put them together for a brand new category for yourself? What are the two categories that Shark Tank is using here? Can anyone guess? They're putting together business and talent show. And the episodes are all the same, and they just repeat it all the time. It's a new entrepreneur that comes up with their new invention, their new business. The sharks at first are skeptical. They ask a bunch of questions. Mr. Wonderful says something offensive and hilarious. And then the entrepreneur has to prove himself, and either at the end they get a deal or they don't. It's the same episode all the time, and it's playing in my hotel room everywhere I go. And so how can you take two ideas and merge them together just like this? Okay, who's seen Hamilton? What are they merging together? Founding fathers and hip hop. Now it's like the biggest show in the world. You don't need better videos, you need better ideas. The goal of your video should be to create an experience, because experiences get remembered more easily, and you do that through the best ideas. And when you use formulas like this is how you get people addicted to your content, and your content can become like this conveyor belt, bringing in new leads and new opportunities. One of my favorite story selling frameworks is this. And I told you I liked acronyms, and this is one that a lot of you will know. Sometimes you might not be able to get it out of your head, but do not let it go. This person's name is an acronym that I want you to keep in mind for every piece of content you create. Every piece of content should have what I like to call an ELSA. The one and only Snow Queen, do not let this go. When you're creating every piece of content, it's gonna break down into epiphany, lesson, story, application. So before you make any piece of content, a video, a post, even a speaking engagement, the first thing you wanna think of is what's the epiphany I want my audience to have? We want to reverse engineer from the epiphany so that when they watch that video or they hear that story or they read the post or they go to the webinar, we want to know what's the thing that they're going to walk away with, what's the objections that we're going to help them overcome, and the aha moment that they're going to have at the end of that. Next is the lesson that you teach through your content. And yes, that can be step 1, 2, 3, but if we just leave it at that, it's like the Charlie Brown teacher that's like, wah, wah, wah. So we want to weave in the lesson into the story that you tell. And our stories have to be better than our audience's stories, meaning the objections that they have up here. The stories they're telling themselves that are going to hold them back, we tell them a story that's going to counteract that. And then A is for application. Where are we leading them to next? And as I mentioned, the best call to action is always the next video. However, that doesn't mean that you can't say, hey, click the link below for this thing, but make sure it's more of like a by the way. It's a segue. I had a client, Christy, Code Red, that she does weight loss. We did a video with her in a grocery store where she was like, hey, by the way, I printed out my grocery list, so next time you're in the grocery store, you can just take it with you. It's a by the way, it's not a whole commercial break. Remember, people pay extra to skip commercials. So with this, we're not just planning for content, we're planning for income. That's what the core of disruptive content is all about. That this is the transformation is in the transaction, both emotionally, financially. People who pay attention. So we got to get them to pay attention to our content to get bigger results for people who are invested. But that starts with your own investment of your time and energy and in serving them. The biggest core values in my business is be obsessed or be average. And the most successful and iconic people are the ones who are obsessed with the outcome and not just going through the motions. Like John, He is obsessed with your outcome. Mr. Beast, for example, you guys know him? When he was creating his channel, did you know that after 100 videos, he only had 760 subscribers? The status quo marketers would have given up long before, but not Beast. He played the long game, which is the only game worth playing. Imagine if he would have given up early, he wouldn't have been able to impact 1,000 people to see for the first time or help 2,000 amputees walk again and change so many lives around the globe. Plus, he's made a heck of a lot of money. Or Hermosi, a guy who can sell anything, a hat. That was crazy. He hit the 1 million subscriber mark in under 2 years. That is not an overnight success story. That is grit and perseverance and commitment. So when you commit to the long game, you show up differently. You create with a purpose, not for a payoff, and eventually you will still get both. It's not a matter of if it will happen, it's a matter of if you will keep at it until it does. Thank you.